We're here.
Back at the Gills project here in Perkins, Oklahoma, and they are just putting up the steel columns. This is a worldwide steel building, and they're just putting the tops of them right there, connecting them.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So Worldwide uses this open truss rafter system. They also have a tube column that works real well. So it's exciting. It's been a long, you know, we started the foundation back before Christmas. We got about half the floor poured because we stamped this floor, as you can tell. It's going to be really beautiful. They put when it's still wet, they put a dye down, like a powder, and as it cures, it just becomes part of the concrete. So what we'll do is we'll power wash this, and then we'll put a clear sealer over this. It's going to be really pretty. But this floor, when you stamp these floors like this is the first time I've ever done a stamped concrete floor, so I learned a lot on this one. But you have to do it in sections. You can't, because the concrete's setting up, and depending on how cold it is or hot it is, temperature, all that sort of thing, they had to do this in 3 pours. And you still have to saw cut it. So what we'll do is when we seal this floor, we'll grout these saw cut lines, but you have to put relief cuts on this, because this is the thing about concrete, guys. Concrete will crack somewhat, but what you're doing is called a control joint. You're telling the floor where you want it to crack, okay? So that's important. A lot of times we try to put these control joints under a wall so you don't see it, but you know, so it becomes pretty much invisible. Once you grout this the same color as the floor, it kind of pretty much goes away. So right now they're putting the steel up. And this particular building, see, we got a little hairline crack right here. But that's pretty normal. That's just normal. You're gonna have some cracking. The problem is if it expands, then you got an issue. But the good thing is this floor has a lot of steel in it, so it's not going to go anywhere. We recommend these girts. We like a all steel building, and I want to tell you why. This is just my opinion, but it's also my experience. If you do a hybrid steel building, a lot of people, Worldwide has a hybrid to where they replace this with a 2x6 lumber or 2x8. It's been my experience, a lot of steel building erectors don't like messing with wood. And so when you tell them, hey, I got this hybrid building, it's steel and it's got wood, and they're like, oh, not interested. So it's just been my experience. So we'll stop saying the word so. You ever catch yourself repeating stuff all the time? Anyway, so I did it again. So we recommend that you do steel. So yes, it's going to be easier to get your building put up. I think it makes a little straighter, truer wall, but certainly you can do wood. I would say do wood if you're absolutely sure you have a steel building erector that's willing to put it up, go for it. Or if you want to do it yourself, it's great for if you want to put this building up with some family members or something. That's a great option. But one of the reasons they offer the wood system is you can screw your sheetrock right to the walls. But in this situation, we prefer this. Now we're still going to frame, as you saw in the other house, we're still going to frame a wall up here. Some people say, well, why don't you just screw sheetrock to the perimeter? Well, I'm going to tell you what, my mechanical contractors complain to high heaven every time we do that. Several reasons. Let's say this were, you had to mount your work boxes for your electrical outlets. Well, dadgummit, the first one's 2 foot off the floor. So now you have to put a vertical brace in here just to mount an electrical box. So it's a lot more hassle to go from here to there. In a wood system, you have to drill up, go over, drill back down. So it's a lot of hassle. So I prefer just to go ahead and frame a wall. Right here we have our plumb is going to sit in our wall here. As you can see, they're getting it screwed together. So what they'll do is they'll come along here, they'll put all these frames up first, they'll put their girts on, and then they're going to start, they'll get all this stabilized, and then they're going to go up top, they'll start with their purlins. pretty much the same thing. The purlins up top are going to be 6 inches. Now a lot of that depends on what part of the country you're in, because the steel, the purlins, and the wall girts are all sized according to your snow load and your wind load and your seismic load of your building. So it all depends on where you are. If you have heavy snow loads, then they're going to have a heavier gauge purlin to handle all that weight sitting on the roof. So, but anyway, we're really excited about this. Glad to see it finally coming together. I'm excited to get this building in the dry, get it closed in so we can start working inside and get out of the weather.
Next time we come here, it'll probably be all framed up, and the windows and the doors, so it's coming along really well. Yeah, this particular job has a Pella window and door package, really nice door package. I'm excited to see. Pella does a great job. We get nothing from Pella, so it's I have no incentive to recommend them other than my experience with them. So far, Pella here in Oklahoma City has done a great job. They provided the exterior doors for this project. Once again, a composite window. I can't remember the color. It's either a brown or black. I can't remember the color. But anyway, so I'm excited to see those go in. We always recommend have your window company put your doors and windows in. It's going to be a lot easier. That way the window company is responsible. When that window's installed, it's installed correctly. If there's an issue, guess what? Years ago, funny story. It's funny now, but it was not funny when it happened. I had a big window contract for Marriott, and we're building a Marriott assisted living center, and I was young and stupid and thought, well, I could just do anything. You know, I had that kind of mentality. And it was a 3-story building, and there was hundreds of windows in this building all the way up 3 stories, okay? So we had to rent a great big lift, and then the contractor called me and said, guess what, you have to unload the truck. I said, I thought you unload the truck. See, that was my stupidity right there. You know, it's like I didn't even know I had to unload the truck. They said, oh no, the truck comes from Dallas and they were vinyl windows. You have to unload them. Oh, okay. So I had to go hire about 8 guys to unload pallets of these windows off the truck, and they were on pallets with wrap, okay? So we'd set them off, set them on the ground, set them off, set them on the ground. And so one of my guys that I hired off the street probably takes a box knife and just cuts the wrap open. And so all the windows just fan out, fall. He did 2 or 3 pallets like that before we got him stopped. I think before we even had the truck unloaded, we probably had half a dozen broken windows. I think we broke another half dozen windows trying to install them. Yep. I'm sure the owner was real happy. That job was miserable. And the GC, once again, I was young and stupid. I went in there, I said, man, I need some help with this job. He said, sorry, buddy, you bid this job. That's your problem. Welcome to real life. So it's like, I got through it, but it was rough. So anyway, I say all that. Make the window company responsible for the windows, not the steel building contractor. I recommend that. It's just my thoughts on that, my experience as well. That way, if they drop a window and break it, guess what? They have to pay for it. So anyway, we're excited to get this up. We'll keep you posted on this one. This is a 50 by 100, so it's 5,000 square feet. The living area is about a little over 3,000, like 3,100 and some change. Big shop area, 12-foot roll-up doors. I believe there are 2 large roll-up doors. Yeah, so I'm excited to. This particular, let me show you this over here and then we'll wrap it up. We have to redo the floor here because the concrete guy got a little ahead of us. But this floor, this is a master bathroom. It's got to be lowered down about 1 inch. So we're going to have to redo the concrete right in here. But we're going to do an electric mat heated floor. So when you know, your tile, you wake up in the morning, it's a little chilly. You have a little timer, you just flip it on the wall there and the floor heats up real nice so your feet are all nice and warm. Let me show you something too. See this here? If you're gonna block out for your showers, which we recommend, and actually I didn't want them to do this, I wanted to just leave this out. Normally we recommend showers, just leave the floor out completely and let your tile guy build your floor in, because what we want is we want our tile to be flush with this floor.
Okay, so that's why it's just easier to have the tile guy do it. But this is okay. This is going to work fine. But I recommend that if you're going to block out like this, see how this crack started right at this corner and just work this way? So if you can just 45 this corner here or do a little radius, that won't happen. Okay. Now, once again, it's not a problem. Once this floor is all finished, you won't even notice it. It'll be pretty much disappear. So, well, thanks for joining us. We'll keep you posted. We'll do another installment on this probably in a month or two once we get a little further along, get the building closed in. All right? What do you think?
All right.